Hello and welcome back to the channel. I'm Josh.
Jasmine.
And we're here to riff on a topic that's been very relevant to us, and that's how we're preparing to become new unplanned parents.
Yeah, so you probably know if you follow us on Instagram that we're pregnant. I am 8 months now.
The bump is bumping.
I had no idea, and because I was so not expecting a positive result, I didn't film it. I didn't film my reaction, like nothing. And I was cooking my chicken, like I just went to the bathroom, then I went to cook lunch, and I went back to check the stick, and there was a line there. And I just remember my heart beating, like I thought it was gonna come out of my chest. I was so shaky, I feel like I was hyperventilating because I knew that you weren't 100% ready yet. It will be a shock to you.
Of which it was. You expected correctly.
How you go through the process, and so you came back, I showed you the test, what went through.
Good. I remember getting your pregnancy test and going downstairs to the pharmacy below our apartment and going, guys, can you just, is that line? What does that mean? And they just looked at me and went, congratulations. And I went, what? Congratulations. Tell me something different. Again, my mind was so attached to the past or my plan. Now it's turned, so I was 27 at the time. So I was thinking another 3 years and then I'll be ready. You know, it's always the 30-year-old milestone. But luckily we've got a nice support network in family that sorted that out actually. And it's alleviated a lot of pressure. But I can guarantee you now we're how long in?
8 months.
8 months. And I'm now excited. I've leaned into the anxiety, but initially it was panic and shock. And so at that stage, we sat down, didn't we? 4 days in, I was like, okay, well, the pharmacies have confirmed. What are we going to do about it? Because people have a choice. You know, today we're given that choice of abortion. And however ethical or political it gets, that is an option for us. So what's your point of view on that, dear?
For me, that was never an option.
So I remember when we went for a walk around the block and we got back to the kitchen, and I just remember something inside of me just go, fuck it, Josh, give yourself a go. And I just went, we're keeping it.
And yeah, you just gave me a big hug and you're like, take it easy, you rest, like, let's do this. And
because I noticed the color in Jazz's face was coming out. It was like you were still in that state of like, oh my God, this is so new, wasn't it? And I knew you needed reassurance as well. And you probably needed me as much as ever, the masculine, to stay steady, strong, secure. And that's what men need to do. And that's where boy to man moment came in. Again, I'm still becoming a man, becoming a father is part of that. Anyway, I'll throw it back to you, my love. So I think what will be useful for viewers is what are we doing now as shocked new unplanned parents to prepare for the next couple of months, because little miracle in here will be manifested as an actual human being that it's going to be totally dependent on us. How are you creating that mother self for yourself now?
Yeah, I feel like this transition from maiden to motherhood is a big one. When you're pregnant, depending on what system you go through, whether you want to do a hospital birth or you're looking for a doula or whatever it is, you need to research, you need to get informed, and you need to trust in your intuition above everything, because you know your body best. We have this powerful intuition, and so I've needed to practice saying no, for example, especially to authority figures. And that to me in the past was so scary because I grew up with that good girl conditioning. So I feel like that lioness part of me is coming out now. And that's really important when being a mother. I'm going to be that lioness protecting her baby, and I need to be confident to be able to say no to authority, for example, stand my ground and let that good girl dissolve into ashes, basically.
Yeah, and what's interesting, I've seen a lot of people, like my family members, followers and stuff, go, Jazz is glowing. Got a new glow,
Oh.
You have, yeah. People can respond to it wrong, be resentful to it all, but I think this is one of your greatest dreams in life, isn't it?
It is, really, it is a dream come true, just earlier than I thought, but of course, I embraced it. So, going back to when we found out, it did take, honestly, a few days, as much as it was a dream of mine, because it was such a shock, it took a few days to actually feel real. I did vomit once. I thought it was food poisoning, but it turns out it was the symptoms kicking in. But I felt so normal, it just didn't feel real. So it did take a few days for me to be like, there's is actually life inside of me right now. But once I fully embraced and accepted that, then I do feel more beautiful than I ever have. And that's big to say because I used to struggle with eating disorders and I was so obsessed with being thin and a certain size, but now I feel more beautiful than ever. And
have you had any fears up until now, and like how have you dealt with them?
Well, being a mum has always been a dream of mine. I feel like it's just activated a whole new level of purpose in my life. But also I've done a lot of things in my maiden years that were like bucket list things that I've always wanted to do. Like we traveled Europe, I lived in Bali, lived in Thailand, did the whole Asia thing. I've grown my own business, like tried that out. I've done everything that I as a maiden would want to do. So yeah, like I'm not perfect. There's still patterns that, aren't ideal, but I still feel really confident that we'll be able to, develop a secure attachment with her, which is my priority. The dream was always to have a stress-free, healthy, easy pregnancy. And it's been pretty much like that. You've taken a lot off my plate and you've just been there for me and taken that a whole new level of responsibility, basically. And yeah, you've done a lot and I see it and I appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks, my love.
I guess something that I want to be really intentional about after she comes is still prioritizing our marriage and not taking on all the stories you can hear out there, like, this marriage broke down after they had kids and like you're just going to lose all the intimacy and stuff like that. And I know that can happen, but I think intention is really powerful, and my intention is that it only brings us closer together. And that we will work as a team no matter what challenges come up. It will be different, I'm sure, but we've moved through a lot of challenges together already. And yeah, that's my intention, that our baby will bring us closer together. And I'm not sure how I'll deal with postpartum. Like that's something I have to surrender to, but at least I've got that intention that our marriage is the most important thing to me.
I feel like this is going to be like a new project we're working on. Something that we're teaming up to be, because it's something I've always wanted anyway. I feel like we don't really do a business together. We're quite independent beings behind closed doors. So having something that and as special as a new human being, it's going to be great, and sadly, we're not moving into having kids with the wrong intentions. I feel like this is, of course, happened with a shock, and it's always been in our plan to raise a family, 3 years prematurely to the man's plan.
But in divine timing, in God's plan, right? God's plan.
Yeah.
And I did connected with her spirit.
The spirit babies, yeah.
A year and a half before, I did connect with her. I knew we would have a girl. I painted the vision, like I literally painted it. And I knew that she was going to manifest at some point. But in a way, in hindsight, I feel like she did come in perfect timing as well. Like I believe that, she chose us at this time for a reason, because we're good enough now. We're ready now, even if we didn't think logically at the time. But she came for a reason at this time. And also, we're in Australia now, by the way. And when we had planned to come back, I always knew that the day we get pregnant and I give birth, I would like to do it in Australia. Like that was my plan. And so we'd actually booked the tickets to come to Australia. And then like a week later, I found out I was pregnant. So just like things like that.
Yeah, like almost like someone's above you, controlling you like a character in a game, right? And although you don't know what's next, but it's all in the grand plan. Yeah. Although we think it's unplanned, it was absolutely intentionally, it was figure outable when it happened that way. Yeah. What's she on the star chart then? Taurus?
Probably be a Taurus. I think she's got Josh's nose based on the ultrasounds. We'll see.
All a bit of a mystery box waiting to be unraveled.
Yeah, it's like black hair or light hair, brown eyes or blue eyes. Will she look more English or Polish, Chinese? So many possibilities.
What do we reckon? Comment below, actually. Pop in the comments what physical traits, who is she going to look more like? Just from it's not all that matters, of course, it's who she is. But the possibility of a big head is 100%, because we were massive moon heads as little ones, so it's gone. Sorry, love. We were given intel that it was going to be a boy from the first scan, and in fact we got surprised a bit later on that it was a girl. So I mentally prepared for a boy. I was like, oh my god, way more pressure on. But then the reality is still, whatever it is, there's still that same responsibility. I think girls are just as impacted by a healthy male role model, which I've got to do. Yeah, but I can't wait. I've got quite a maternal personality anyway, so I can't wait to connect with her and show her the way. Protect her, provide for her, and have fun with her, dancing.
I mean, it does feel really vulnerable to share this story, but I think, the purpose is also, on social media you see a lot of, pregnancy reactions, and, you got both mum and dad like finding out and being so super excited and happy. And I thought that was going to be us too. Yeah. But a lot of pregnancies are unplanned, and you don't see those reactions on social media. Firstly, no one records it. Secondly, no one probably would share that. So, if you are in the same boat, I hope that just talking through our story made you feel less alone.
We're going to be very conscious and intentional moving through. We're going to protect her little identity. We're going to, protect.
Oh, she won't be on. Yeah. So.
Yeah. We've got a few rules. We've got a few rules. Maybe for a new video. Maybe the new rule book to be new parents, or things we're practicing in the newborn stage. Maybe we'll come up with another video. Who knows?
I know a lot of people in my community want to see her, but we've got to protect her privacy and everything.
Yeah, before her consent. Anyway, we'll love you and leave you. Again, subscribe if you haven't already. Give this video a like. Share it with a mate if you think it would help. And thanks for spending your precious time. I'm sure this is going to be a mammoth video. And we'll be seeing you on the next one.
Much love.
Much love.